Namaste and welcome to the Astral Mandir. In Jyotish, the moon or Chandra is the kāraka of the mind and also the significator of the mother. The moon governs emotions, intuition, and receptivity, while also showing how the nurturing presence of the mother shapes our inner world. Today, we will journey through the Nakshatras to see how the moon expresses itself across these cosmic mansions. And we will learn how the mother's influence is experienced and how emotional patterns guide the soul's journey. So now we will start with the first nakshatra, which is Ashwini. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind and the significator of the mother, shines in Ashwini nakshatra, emotions are youthful, adventurous, and quick to respond. The mind here is restless, eager to explore, and often drawn to healing or beginnings. The mother's influence may be dynamic, energetic, or pioneering, instilling courage and vitality. Feelings arise suddenly, impulsively, with bursts of enthusiasm that inspire others. Relationships may begin quickly with attraction that feels fresh and exciting, though stability may take time. The aura is lively, magnetic, with sharp eyes and quick movements. The karmic lesson is patience, learning to ground emotions so that the enthusiasm becomes wisdom. Ultimately, Moon in Ashwini teaches that the mind's vitality, guided by the mother's spark, must be tempered with steadiness. Our next nakshatra is Bharani. When the moon, the soul's mind, resides in Bharani nakshatra, emotions are intense, magnetic, and deeply tied to karmic lessons. The mind over here feels passionately, sometimes possessively, and is drawn to themes of transformation. The mother's influence may be strict, disciplined, or karmic, teaching lessons of restraint and responsibility. Emotional bonds are consuming, powerful, and often karmic in nature. The aura is bold, captivating, with strong features and magnetic presence. Feelings may overwhelm, but they also bring depth and devotion. The karmic lesson is discipline, learning to respect boundaries while embracing passion. Ultimately, Moon in Bharani makes the mind a crucible for devotion, teaching that love and the mother's guidance must be tempered with dharma. The next nakshatra is Krittika. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, resides in Krittika nakshatra, emotions are fiery, protective, and purifying. The mind here is sharp, decisive, sometimes critical but deeply protective of loved ones. The mother's influence may be fiery, strong-willed, or purifying, shaping emotional resilience through discipline. Feelings burn brightly, cutting through illusions and demanding honesty. Emotional warmth is strong but can be impatient, testing boundaries with intensity. The aura is penetrating, with sharp features and intense eyes. The karmic lesson is compassion, learning to temper sharpness with tenderness. Ultimately, Moon in Krittika makes the mind a purifier, teaching that emotional fire, guided by the mother's strength, must refine rather than wound. The next nakshatra is Rohini. When the moon, the soul's mind and mother, shines in Rohini nakshatra, emotions are magnetic, fertile, and deeply charming. Rohini is ruled by Prajapati, the creator and is the beloved of the moon's favorite star. The mind here craves beauty, sensuality, and growth. making relationships fertile and enchanting. The mother's influence is nurturing, artistic, and protective, often shaping emotional life through creativity and abundance. Feelings are abundant, loyal, and deeply devoted through indulgence or possessiveness may arise. The aura is luminous, graceful, captivating, with eyes that enchant. The karmic lesson is moderation, learning to balance pleasure with dharma. Ultimately, moon in Rohini makes the mind a garden of devotion, where emotions blossom under the mother's nurturing presence. The next nakshatra is Mrigshira. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind and mother, resides in Mrigshira nakshatra, emotions are curious, searching, and restless. Symbolized by the deer's head, this star ties the mind to Soma, the moon god, and the restless search for beauty. The mother's influence may be gentle, elusive, or dual minded, instilling curiosity and adaptability. Feelings are playful, inquisitive, and experimental, but consistency may be lacking. The aura is delicate, agile, expressive, with eyes that wander like the deer. Relationships thrive on novelty, but stability requires grounding. The karmic lesson is commitment, learning to pause and root curiosity in devotion. Ultimately, moon in Mrigashira makes the mind a seeker, guided by the mother's gentle spark, destined to chase beauty until it finds truth. The next nakshatra is Ardra. When the moon, the soul's mind, shines in Ardra nakshatra, emotions are stormy, intense, and transformative. Ardra is ruled by Rudra, the fierce form of Shiva. Shiva represents destruction and renewal. The mind here feels deeply, often tied to upheaval and sudden changes. The mother's influence may be intense, emotional, and transformative, teaching resilience through storms. Feelings may overwhelm, but they also cleanse and renew. The aura is magnetic, intense, with eyes that reflect storms and tears. Relationships may experience turbulence, but healing follows. The karmic lesson is transformation, embracing change rather than fearing it. Ultimately, moon in Ardra makes the mind a purifier, teaching that storms, guided by the mother's strength, are necessary for compassion to bloom. Punarvasu. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, resides in Punarvasu nakshatra, emotions are nurturing, forgiving, and resilient. Punarvasu is ruled by Aditi, the mother of the gods, symbolizing renewal and boundless compassion. The mind here thrives on optimism, always returning to light after trials. The mother's influence is protective, forgiving, and restorative, guiding the native through cycles of renewal. Feelings are gentle, restorative, and forgiving, making relationships a sanctuary of hope. The aura is calming, soft, and inspiring trust. The karmic lesson is renewal through learning to embrace second chances and restore harmony. Ultimately, moon in Punarvasu makes the mind a beacon of resilience, teaching that love and the mother's nurturing presence are reborn again and again. The next nakshatra is Pushya. When the moon, the soul's mind, is in Pushya nakshatra, emotions are devoted, traditional, and deeply nurturing. Pushya is ruled by Brihaspati, the guru of the gods, symbolizing wisdom, nourishment, and dharma. The mind here shines as a guide, protector, and caretaker. The mother's influence is steady, traditional, and wise, shaping emotional life through nourishment and discipline. Feelings are loyal, expressed through sacrifice and devotion. The aura is the aura is auspicious, nurturing, with comforting presence. Relationships feel secure, built on trust and responsibility. The karmic lesson is balance, that is, learning to nurture without losing oneself. Ultimately, the moon in Pushya makes the mind a guardian of wisdom, teaching that emotional authority guided by the mother lies in nourishment and dharma. The last nakshatra for this slide is Ashlesha. Then we'll go to the next batch of 9. So now Ashlesha nakshatra, when the moon, the kāraka of the mind, resides in Ashlesha nakshatra, emotions are mysterious, hypnotic, and intense. Ashlesha nakshatra is ruled by the Nagas, which are the serpent deities, symbolizing hidden power and transformation. The mind here feels deeply, binding love with possessiveness or secrecy. The mother's influence may be enigmatic, protective, or controlling, shaping the emotional life through hidden strength. Feelings are magnetic, sometimes suffocating but profoundly loyal. The aura is serpentine, penetrating with eyes that unsettle and captivate. Relationships may struggle with trust but also offer deep emotional connection. The karmic lesson is liberation, that is, turning possessiveness into devotion, allowing emotions to allowing emotions to be free rather than entangle. Ultimately, moon in Ashlesha makes the mind a mystic, teaching that hidden truths guided by the mother's influence shape intimacy and dharma. Now we start with the next set of 9 nakshatras, starting from Magha up until Jyeshtha. So now with Magha nakshatra, when the moon, the kāraka of the mind, shines in Magha nakshatra, emotions carry dignity, pride, and ancestral strength. Magha is ruled by the Pitris, the forefathers who embody lineage and tradition. The mind here is tied to ancestry, often reflecting family honor and heritage. The mother's influence may be regal, protective, or traditional, instilling respect for lineage. Feelings are loyal, protective, and dignified, though sometimes rigid. The aura is commanding, upright, with features that reflect pride. The karmic lesson is humility, that is, learning to balance pride with tenderness. Ultimately, moon in Magha makes the mind a guardian of lineage, teaching that emotional authority guided by the mother lies in reverence for ancestry. The next nakshatra is Purva Phalguni. When the moon, the soul's mind, resides in Purva Phalguni nakshatra, emotions are romantic, playful, and full of charm. Ruled by Bhaga, the god of delight and fortune, this star brings pleasure and enjoyment. The mind here craves beauty, leisure, and romance. The mother's influence may be charismatic, indulgent, or artistic, shaping emotional life through joy and creativity. Feelings are magnetic, artistic, and indulgent, though sometimes avoiding responsibility. The aura is radiant, graceful, with a captivating smile. The karmic lesson is balance, through learning to harmonize pleasure with duty. Ultimately, moon in Purva Phalguni makes the mind a festival of love, teaching that joy, guided by the mother's nurturing, must be tempered with responsibility. The next nakshatra is Uttara Phalguni. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, shines in Uttara Phalguni nakshatra, emotions are loyal, steady, and principled. Ruled by Aryaman, the god of contracts and unions, this star symbolizes sacred bonds. The mind here values duty, responsibility, and long term commitment. The mother's influence may be protective, principled, or steady, instilling devotion to responsibility. Feelings are dependable, protective, and trustworthy, though sometimes rigid. The aura is dignified, calm, inspiring confidence. The karmic lesson here is tenderness, that is, learning to keep love warm with responsibility. Ultimately, moon in Uttara Phalguni makes the mind a guardian of sacred bonds, teaching that emotional authority, guided by the mother, lies in loyalty and dharma. The next nakshatra is Hasta. When the moon, the soul's mind, and mother reside in Hasta nakshatra, emotions are skillful, caring, and creative. Ruled by Savita, the solar deity of inspiration, this star gives the mind dexterity and light. The mother's influence may be practical, nurturing, or skillful, shaping emotional life through care and guidance. Feelings are expressed through practical devotion, healing, and creativity. The aura is calming, expressive, with graceful hands and gentle features. Relationships thrive on devotion shown through small acts of love. The karmic lesson is spontaneity, that is, learning to keep emotions fresh with routine. Ultimately, the moon in Hasta makes the mind a craftsman of care, teaching that emotional authority, guided by the mother, lies in service expressed through skill. The next nakshatra is Chitra. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, shines in Chitra nakshatra, emotions are dazzling, artistic, and magnetic. Ruled by Twashtar, the celestial architect, this star brings beauty and design. The mind here craves aesthetics, artistry, and admiration. The mother's influence may be artistic, stylish, or commanding, shaping emotional life through creativity. Feelings are creative, charming, and captivating, though sometimes superficial. The aura is striking, stylish, with radiant presence. The karmic lesson is depth, that is, learning to balance beauty with emotional substance. Ultimately, Moon in Chitra makes the mind a masterpiece, teaching that emotional authority, guided by the mother, lies in beauty grounded in dharma. The next nakshatra is Swati. When the moon, the soul's mind, resides in Swati nakshatra, emotions are independent, free spirited, and graceful. Ruled by Vayu, the wind god, this star symbolizes movement and individuality. The mind here values freedom, fairness, and equality. The mother's influence may be detached, graceful, or independent, instilling self reliance. Feelings are airy, refreshing, but sometimes distant. The aura is light, graceful, with tall features. The karmic lesson is intimacy, that is, learning to balance independence with closeness. Ultimately, Moon in Swati makes the mind a free spirit, teaching that emotional authority, guided by the mother, lies in liberty tempered with love. The next nakshatra is Vishaka. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, shines in Vishaka nakshatra, emotions are ambitious, persuasive, and goal-oriented. Ruled by Indra and Agni, deities of power and fire, this star brings drive and achievement. The mind here craves success, recognition, and progress. The mother's influence may be ambitious, determined, and or inspiring, shaping emotional life through drive. Feelings are determined, competitive, and persuasive, though sometimes intense. The aura is commanding, sharp, with a penetrating gaze. The karmic lesson is harmony, that is, learning to balance ambition with intimacy. Ultimately, moon in Vishaka makes the mind a crucible for growth, teaching that emotional authority, guided again by the mother, lies in ambition aligned with compassion. The next nakshatra is Anuradha. When the moon, the soul's mind, resides in Anuradha nakshatra, emotions are loyal, devoted, and compassionate. Ruled by Mitra, the god of friendship and harmony, this star symbolizes trust and companionship. The mind here thrives on devotion, friendship, and emotional bonds. The mother's influence may be caring, loyal, or protective, shaping emotional life through devotion. Feelings are steady, protective, and deeply caring. The aura is soothing, gentle, with a calming presence. The karmic lesson is independence, that is, learning to balance loyalty with freedom. Ultimately, moon in Anuradha makes the mind a sanctuary of trust, teaching that emotional authority lies in devotion and harmony. The last nakshatra in this batch of 9 is Jyeshtha. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, is in Jyeshtha nakshatra, emotions are protective, intense, and authoritative. Ruled by Indra, the king of the gods, this star symbolizes leadership and responsibility. The mind here craves respect, control, and protection. The mother's influence may be strong, authoritative, or commanding, shaping emotional life through responsibility. Feelings are serious, commanding, and loyal, though sometimes intimidating. The aura is strong, authoritative, with eyes that reflect responsibility. The karmic lesson is compassion, that is, learning to soften authority with tenderness. Ultimately, moon in Jyeshtha makes the mind a leader, teaching that emotional authority lies in strength balanced with care. Now we come to the last batch of 9 nakshatras, that is running from Mula in Sagittarius to Revati in Pisces. So starting with Mula nakshatra. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, resides in Mula nakshatra, emotions are probing, intense, and transformative. Mula is ruled by Niriti, the goddess of dissolution, who dwells at the roots of existence. The mind here seeks truth and at the deepest level, dismantling illusions to uncover reality. The mother's influence may be severe, transformative, or karmic, teaching detachment and resilience. Feelings may bring sudden endings, forcing renewal and growth. The aura is mysterious, penetrating, with eyes that surge beneath the surface. The karmic lesson is detachment, that is, learning to accept dissolution as a path to liberation. Ultimately, moon in Mula makes the mind a seeker of truth, guided by the mother's lessons in transformation. The next nakshatra is Purva Ashadha. So when the moon, the soul's mind, shines in Purva Ashadha nakshatra, emotions are ambitious, persuasive, and resilient. Ruled by Apa, the cosmic waters, this star symbolizes invincibility and renewal. The mind here flows like water, overcoming obstacles with persistence. The mother's influence may be determined, competitive, or inspiring, instilling resilience. Feelings are determined, persuasive, and strong, though sometimes overwhelming. The aura is radiant, commanding, with features that reflect resilience. The karmic lesson is humility, that is, learning to temper ambition with compassion. Ultimately, moon in Purva Ashadha makes the mind invincible, guided by the mother's strength, teaching that emotional authority lies in resilience and renewal. The next nakshatra is Uttara Ashadha. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind and mother, resides in Uttara Ashadha nakshatra, emotions are principled, loyal, and enduring. Ruled by the Vishwadevas, the universal gods of righteousness, this star symbolizes dharma and truth. The mind here values honesty, responsibility, and devotion. The mother's influence may be principled, protective, or steady, instilling integrity. Feelings are steady, protective, and righteous, though sometimes rigid. The aura is dignified, calm, inspiring trust. The karmic lesson is tenderness, that is, learning to keep love warm within duty. Ultimately, the moon in Uttara Ashadha makes the mind a guardian of righteousness, teaching that emotional authority lies in dharma. The next nakshatra is Shravana. When the moon, the soul's mind, shines in Shravana nakshatra, emotions are attentive, wise, and communicative. Shravana is ruled by Vishnu, the preserver, symbolizing listening and guidance. The mind here thrives on learning, tradition, and communication. The mother's influence may be nurturing, wise, or guiding, shaping emotional life through listening and teaching. Feelings are expressed through understanding, respect, and devotion. The aura is calm, attentive, with eyes that listen deeply. The karmic lesson is humility, that is, learning to nurture intimacy through listening. Ultimately, the moon in Shravana makes the mind a sanctuary of wisdom, guided by the mother's voice, teaching that emotional authority lies in communication and guidance. The next nakshatra is Dhanishta. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, resides in Dhanishta nakshatra, the emotions are rhythmic, prosperous, and socially connected. Ruled by Vasus, the elemental deities of abundance, this star brings wealth and harmony. The mind here resonates with rhythm, music, and community. The mother's influence may be generous, socially connected, or prosperous, shaping emotional life through abundance. Feelings are extroverted, joyful, and generous, though sometimes materialistic. The aura is magnetic, graceful, with features that reflect prosperity. The karmic lesson is balance, that is, learning to harmonize material abundance with emotional depth. Ultimately, the moon in Dhanishta makes the mind a celebrant of joy, guided by the mother's generosity, teaching that emotional authority lies in rhythm and harmony. The next nakshatra is Shatabisha. When the moon, the soul's mind, shines in Shatabisha nakshatra, emotions are mysterious, healing, and unconventional. Ruled by Varuna, the god of the cosmic waters, this star symbolizes secrecy and healing. The mind here craves hidden truths, often drawn to healing or mystical knowledge. The mother's influence may be detached, mystical, or secretive, shaping emotional life through mystery. Feelings may be unconventional, detached, yet profoundly deep. The aura is enigmatic, magnetic, with eyes that reflect hidden depth. The karmic lesson is trust, that is, learning to embrace mystery as the path to healing. Ultimately, Moon in Shatabisha makes the mind a healer, guided by the mother's hidden wisdom, teaching that emotional authority lies in uncovering the truth. The next nakshatra is Purva Bhadrapada. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, resides in Purva Bhadrapada nakshatra, emotions are intense, spiritual, and transformative. Ruled by Aja Ekapada, the one-footed deity, this star symbolizes asceticism and extremes. The mind here craves depth, spirituality, and intensity. The mother's influence may be eccentric, ascetic, or deeply spiritual, shaping emotional life through extremes. Feelings are passionate, profound, and karmic, though sometimes unsettling. The aura is striking, intense, with features that reflect spiritual fire. The karmic lesson is balance, that is, learning to temper extremes with stability. Ultimately, Moon in Purva Bhadrapada makes the mind a mystic, guided by the mother's spiritual fire, teaching that emotional authority lies in devotion expressed through intensity. The next nakshatra is Uttara Bhadrapada. When the moon, the soul's mind, shines in Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra, emotions are wise, patient, and deeply spiritual. Ruled by Ahirbudhanya, the serpent of the deep, this star symbolizes hidden wisdom and stability. The mind here is calm, introspective, and profound. The mother's influence may be reserved, wise, or deeply spiritual, shaping emotional life through patience. Feelings are steady, patient, and spiritual, though sometimes detached. The aura is serene, profound, with eyes that reflect hidden depths. The karmic lesson is stillness, learning to embrace intimacy that grows slowly but profoundly. Ultimately, moon in Uttara Bhadrapada makes the mind a sanctuary of wisdom, guided by the mother's depth, teaching that emotional authority lies in patience and stability. Now we come to the last nakshatra, which is Revati. When the moon, the kāraka of the mind, resides in Revati nakshatra, emotions are gentle, compassionate, and protective. Revati is ruled by Pushya, the shepherd god, symbolizing guidance and safe journeys. The mind here shines with kindness, often guiding others with love and protection. The mother's influence may be nurturing, compassionate, or protective, shaping emotional life through care and guidance. Feelings are loyal, nurturing, and deeply compassionate. The aura is soft, calming, with features that inspire trust. The karmic lesson is self love, that is, learning to balance compassion for others with care for oneself. Ultimately, the moon in Revati makes the mind a shepherd, guided by the mother's compassion, teaching that emotional authority lies in guidance and love.